and with nothing to do.
What's up? Welcome to the Vegas Benchwarmer channel. This is a Benchwarmer podcast. This is where everybody wants a seat, but we're not warming the bench anymore. My name is He Hate Me 702, and we got not down below. He's right next to me.
I'm right next to you, yo. It's Mo. What's up, bro?
Welcome back. Welcome back. Sorry we missed last week. Quick story time. I had an interview. Shit went horrible. Should not have showed up. It
Would you
was
have
actually
interviews?
It was fucking horrible, dude. They put this in the description as like a business account executive. The salary was 45 to 59,000 plus commission, right? And you had to have all this experience. They gave me an intro interview. The intro interview lasted 5
Who's
minutes.
this with?
A company called Paid, right? I'll explain to you in a
Paid?
second. Paid, Payd. So they gave me an interview. They said the interview would last 30 minutes. It only lasted about 5-10, which I've been used to when I had the couple interviews that I have had. Those intro interviews don't really last long, right? But they didn't ask me any questions about my history. They were just like, could you do this? Could you do this? Could you do this? Could you work this day? Okay, I'll call you back in 2 to 4 hours and let you know. And I was like, something don't seem right about this company. So I started looking it up. Couldn't find shit about it, right? Could not find nothing about it. So then I went to fucking AI. And AI is like, oh, yeah, it's a company, but it looks like one of those bait and switch companies that tells you this shit, and then you get there and it's not going to be that. So they called me back and they're like, hey, you have an interview on Saturday. Can you come? I was like, yeah, sure. I got there. They told us to dress business professional. So I came dressed to a T, suit, shirt, dress shoes, tie, cufflinks, tie clip. And I get there and the building looks suspect as fuck. Like I can't find parking. I can't find the door. Me and some
Where
other
the
dude
fuck
are
is this
walking.
building at?
Yeah, it's on Fremont, right? It's literally right down the street from there's a Chase Bank on Las Vegas Boulevard near the FBI building. So it's like it's in this Chase
Okay.
Bank parking lot, right? So, but there's no signs on this building or whatever. One of the dudes calls up, tells them they said, "Oh, we're gonna send somebody down there." The guy that comes and opens the door. This is very important. I am a very visual person, okay? I am one of those people that if I go and apply for a job and I feel that the job you're having me dressed this way and you're not dressed that way, it's going to make me feel a little something. I don't know why. I don't What do you think, Mo? Would you go to a job
Yeah, I
interview?
would say,
Okay.
yeah, the same thing. It's like they should be giving off the same energy for sure.
And again, I'm dressed to the T, right? So, dude opens the door, has a
And he's
suit on.
naked.
He has a suit on. It's not fitted. No big deal. That's not that big of a deal.
He had
But
a fucking Carmelo Anthony,
he has on some
the box
dirty.
suit.
Yeah, and the worst part about it was he was kind of like a heavier set guy. So it was even weirder, right? Like if you're little and it doesn't fit, I can understand. You either lost weight or you bought the suit and didn't have a chance to get it sized. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when it's big on you and you're big, it's a little. Maybe you lost weight and you were bigger, right? But then I look at his shoes. He's got some dirty ass Nikes on.
What are
Some dirty
those?
ass white Nikes. So we get in the elevator. There's a kid that works there. He's like, "Oh, I thought it was casual Saturday." He's like, "It is, but I just bought this suit, so I wanted to wear it." And I was like, "Cool, no big deal." He sits us down. About 15 minutes, he comes back and goes, "Hey, I'm the owner of the company." I'm like, "You've got to be shitting me. You've got to be fucking shit." He's like, "I'm going to do the interview because my assistant is off on Saturdays." Why the fuck did y'all schedule the interview? "I'm going to interview all of you guys at the same time." So he proceeds to tell us the
How many
scheduling.
are you? How
There's
many of
12
you?
of them, right?
What the
Um,
fuck?
there's three of us that are dressed in suits. There's a lady that's sitting next to me that is dressed to the T, right? She's business professional like no tomorrow. And we kind of sit next to each other, and both of us have very similar resumes because we're talking as they're sitting in. And she's like, "Oh, what have you done? Oh, I've done this. I've done this." And I'm like, she's like, "Yeah, I don't know about this." I'm like, "Me neither, right?" And he comes in, he goes through the whole entire thing, and then he goes, "Let's get to your pay." I know everybody wants to hear about that. The pay is $12 an hour plus commission. I was like, "What?" Everybody starts off at this position, no matter what your experiences is. You start off at an entry level position. It is a 4 to 6 week training program. All you have to do is sell four AT&T packages, right? And you get moved up to the second position. Then you sell like 12 AT&T packages. And then you get moved up to the third position where you get a couple people under you. And then if you and your team sells this, you become a regional. I'm like, oh, dude, I wanted to get up and leave right there, right? But now I'm like, let's have fun.
Yes.
I ask him about his training. How extensive is your training? He goes, "Oh, it's very extensive, but I know whether or not you can make it like in the first week or two." He's like, "So the $12 an hour you don't want to make." He's like, "You don't want to make this $12 an hour. And if you are making this $12 an hour, I'm going to get rid of you in the first week or two." He's like, "So if you're not making any sales in the first week or two, you're gone. You're a shithead." And I'm just like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "But I could tell. Like if you're coming in and you're happy and you're almost there, I got you. But if you're not almost there and you're coming in like, man, I fucking suck, I'm gonna get rid of you in 2 weeks." I'm like, okay, all right. Continues on. I ask questions. Where do your leads come from? Because you said this is business accounts. Are we sitting in a Costco or are we going door to door? Like door to door business. You know what I'm talking about. The ones that pop in.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to
Yeah.
buy a Ted Wayne's? He said we're going door to door to AT&T customers. So proceed to basically tell them after the thing. I wait till everybody gets out and I proceed to tell them, can I withdraw my application? I am no longer interested in this position. He asked me why. I explained to him very quickly. 59,000, 45 to 59,000 is not $12 an hour in any way, shape, or form. If I'd have known it was $12 an hour, I wouldn't have applied or wasted my time. He goes,
Yeah.
okay, I appreciate you. Fast forward to yesterday. I get a phone call from him and a text message saying, hey, we like you very, very much. We would like you to come in so we can talk about offering you a position. 5 minutes later go by. I don't answer. I get another phone call and another text message. But the text message, the second text message, first one had my name. Second text message has somebody else's name in it. They literally called me twice, like I was two different people, and offered me a job. Dude, it was one of the worst, and it was an hour long. It was, but basically the idea was you sold
You should have
AT&T.
accepted it as a second person.
So the lady that was next to me, she was asking a whole bunch of questions too. Everybody else was asking weird questions. We were asking like professional questions. And when I say weird questions, it's because a lot of them, like we had a lot of younger people. There was a dude, he asked a question. He's like, oh, we work on Saturdays. Does anybody have a problem with that? He's like, yeah, I can't. She's like, I can't work on Saturdays. My babysitter doesn't work on Saturdays. She's like, I literally had to drop my kid off with my friend right now so I could come to this interview. He's like, that's no problem. That's a responsible adult. I can work around that. That just means on Monday through Friday, you have to work harder. Some other girl's like, oh, I go to school, so I won't be here on Tuesday and Thursday. He's like, that's fine. That's a responsible adult. I can work around that. This other dude goes, yeah, man, I got a class down at the court because I just got out of prison. He goes, yeah, that's
That's
responsible,
responsible.
man. Work around that. That's all responsible. But if you call me on Friday and go, I'm sick, I can't come to work, I'm going to think you're a shithead. I was like, okay. So as we were walking out, the lady that was sitting next to me goes, you're not taking this job. Are you? I said, fuck no. Fuck no. She goes, this is the biggest piece of waste time ever. Some other dudes were really happy. So I don't want to shit on people's opportunity because it could be an opportunity for a lot of good people. It's just not for me. So that turned into a 9-minute story. My bad. That's why we missed last week. Sam has had a lot of fucking snow. In case y'all didn't know, if you're on the East Coast, I am so sorry for you guys. I am sorry as hell for you guys. That fucking sucks. All that snow that they got. Did you know, like, what was it? A day in New York, like this earlier this month, had the most. This had the most cancellation of flights since COVID.
No.
because of that storm. I forgot what day it is, but it had the most cancellation because of that storm.
Oh, in
Yeah.
one day?
All basically my sister, New York was on Monday. New York was they were homeschooled. Like the state came out and said everybody's going online.
Yeah, that's
The
what I heard
majority,
is that they fucked up snow days for everybody nowadays.
yeah, because they can do online school. Thanks, COVID. But yeah, my sister lives in New York and she said it's like a ghost town because of the fact that there was nobody on the streets because everything was closed down. All right, let's get in. So Sam is dealing with that. Plus, please send some prayers out to him. He's got a shoulder injury that is getting worse. He's supposed to go to see if it's I hope it's not a rotator cuff tear. That's gonna suck. That is actually gonna suck. All right, first thing we're gonna get into: Bill Belichick debate. How is he not a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Some hating ass haters.
Like, I tried to think about this, and what reason could you give, playing devil's advocate, that you would not vote for him as first ballot Hall of Famer?
I think one of the ones that I heard that maybe makes the most sense, which it doesn't make a lot of sense, but out of all the fucking possible scenarios, they're talking about some people might have been like ballot watching, thinking like, oh, there's no way he's not gonna make it, and then use their fucking vote to maybe try to push somebody over the edge that might have been like borderline, but
Okay.
too many of the same motherfuckers had the same notion and ended up fucking it up.
That makes sense. So basically, there's no way he's not going to get in. He's going to get the majority of
Let
the
me use
votes.
my vote for this guy that's fucking
Yeah.
borderline.
That actually makes a lot of sense. I haven't heard that one. That's the first time I've heard that one. I've heard the
Spygate, the Playgate, let's punish him.
cheating
He shouldn't be
scandals.
first ballot.
Now, if that's the case, is Brady a first ballot Hall of Famer?
I would say so. I mean,
But if they use that against Bill, Brady was the quarterback of those teams, and Deflategate was with Brady, not
what's
Bill.
one more with him?
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that people were pissed at him, especially media members, because of the way that he treated the media. So I've heard that one. I've heard that.
I hate how much fucking power the media holds, though. Like,
so stupid.
I think there should be a peer vote.
I've also heard that, they said that he has to wait a year because of what happened with Spygate. But I just don't. Go ahead.
Another one I heard was that perhaps they think he may come back to the NFL, so why would we vote him in now? And then he's gonna be in the hall while still coaching, type shit. So
that makes no sense to me. I understand that, but if your statures are, if they haven't coached in 5 years, do you see what I'm saying? Or whatever it is, whatever their limitations are, then that should not matter. That he comes back as a Hall of Fame coach and adds to his resume. If that matters, then you should extend the window. You see what I'm saying? And because in this day and age, like we've had Jason Witten come off of the what was it, the broadcast booth and play. We just had Phillip Rivers come off the couch at home and play after 5 years almost. So if you're gonna have that, then just extend the window. I think that I understand that concept, but I think this would be the time that we just say, hey, we're going to do it. And then next going forward, we're going to extend the window because of this until they're actually retired. The Hall of Fame put out a statement basically stating that, people could be revoked from voting. If this was the one time that the Hall of Fame, the head of the Hall of Fame came together and said, dog, we look like some fucking idiots. We look like a bunch of fools because we did not vote him in. Can we just override this vote and put him in? What would you say if that happened? Would you have more respect or less respect? If the Hall of Fame, the head of the Hall of Fame, just said, fuck you guys, I don't care what you voted. This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. We look like a joke. Bill Belichick's getting in.
I think the tarnish kind of is already there, I would say, just with the whole fucking I guess, debate even having to come about because of it. But I think it would salvage a little bit of the fucking besmirching that's going on so far.
Yeah, because it would more look like a PR transaction. Basically, hey, we're trying to save face.
Yeah.
So out of all the coaches that have our first ballot Hall of Fames, there's George Halas, Curly Lambeau, Tom Landry, Chuck Noll, and Don Shula.
Those are the only coaches in?
Those are the only first ballot Hall of Fame coaches.
Oh, only first ballot.
Yep. So there's multiple coaches in, but those are the only ones that were ever coached on their first ballot. So Don Shula has the all-time wins lead at 347.
But
Chuck Noll
are some of his not NFL?
I think they combined both of their stats back then. The AFL and the NFL.
Bill Belichick has the most NFL wins, right?
No, Bill Belichick has the most playoff wins. Let's see.
Because I thought the way they were breaking it down on the article I was reading, I think it like made it seem like some of Shula's wins were like in the AFL before they merged.
Okay, so Don Shula never coached in the AFL. So
I don't know then how they were trying to
he
break it
coached
down.
exclusively in the NFL for the Baltimore Colts from 1962
Oh,
to
that's true. He was the Colts before,
1969,
so.
and then the Miami Dolphins from 1970 to 1995. I know Belichick has the most. He's only like,
Or maybe because they're counting the regular season and playoffs, it ends up being more.
So he has 328 regular season wins and 19 playoff wins. Bill Belichick has 302 regular season wins and 31 playoff wins. And then George Halas, and then Andy Reid. Well, Andy Reid's not a first ballot Hall of Famer. We know that. So I was just, when that happened, I was like, the Hall of Fame is officially a joke now.
Yeah.
I mean, I've thought it for a while.
I just always thought that they were like, I don't know, some of the fucking guidelines that they use were a little bit fucking too far-fetched or too much.
I think their guidelines are, I think the media is voting on it and everybody else voting on it. I think that's another issue that we have. I also think that they wait too long to put certain people in that should be in at that time. And then they just never get in. So you have some very good players that don't make it to the Hall of Fame that were playing back in a day, but because of the fact that for some odd reason they didn't get in then, they're never going to get in because now it's almost impossible for them to get in.
Yeah, I don't know why they have to limit how many people get in each year. Like, if there's enough people that fucking warrant it, I don't know why it can't be different class sizes, I guess.
So the problem that you have is, I think the biggest issue that you have is something that what's his name, Bill Simmons, talked about in the Book of Basketball. He has a amazing book of, he has an amazing idea for it, and it works with everything. It's a fucking pyramid. So the problem that you have is the stats get so much better. The plays get so much better. So once they get from a certain hole, once they're 20 years old, they're basically impossible to get in. So he would have like, you'd have your bottom where you have a lot of people in. A lot of people are in the bottom. They could be the best. You'd have your wing like the best of the 70s, the best of the 80s, the best of the 90s, the best of the 2000s. And that would be a lot of people and people could drop down from certain pyramid levels, but then you go up in levels. So right now at the very top would be Tom Brady as a coach, as a head coach. Bill Belichick would probably be there as a coach. And then you'd go down in levels. Now you can never move up. but you can move down. So you're still in the Hall of Fame. It's not too much of overcrowding everybody, but the people still get where they're supposed to be. So Joe Montana might be at the top for quarterbacks. Do you see what I'm saying? He might be at the top of the pyramid. But in 3 to 4 years, 6 years, he might have to move down to the second or third row because their stats just don't look that great. And then you may have an area where you say, hey, these are legendaries that go in the middle, where their stats don't look great, but they can't move below this rung because of what they did for their time frame. Something like that. I probably fucked up a lot of that because I haven't read the book in a while. But
I understand what you're saying, though. It's more like a tier system.
It's basically a tier system. So as many people can get in, and you're not comparing them against today's people. So like right now, Reggie Wayne, Torrey Holt, Sterling Sharp, they're a couple people that aren't in the Roger Craig is not in the fucking Hall of Fame.
That's crazy.
So that becomes the issue. First player in history to record 1,000-yard rushing and 1,000 yards in the same season. And he's not in the Hall of Fame. Do you think he will ever get? No. Because we're so far away from him. That becomes your issue. Now you're going to get Eli Manning in the Hall of Fame. So yeah, I just think Belichick not being a first ballot Hall of Famer, and the Hall of Fame sucks now. Switch it up and get into some boxing, okay? If y'all don't know, we got a fight tonight, okay? This might be, okay, you know how we as fans of boxing, we always talk about we want the best fighting the best. With combat sports, any combat sports you watch, do you want to see the best fighting the best at their prime, Mo?
Of course.
Of course. But in boxing, there's a lot of politicking. Not so much in MMA because of Dana White, but there's a lot of politicking. So I don't want to fight you because I don't want to lose my O. I don't want to fight you because I'm with Golden Boy and you're with Heyman. I don't want to fight you because you beat me and you were on steroids when you beat me. And even though you whooped my ass, I'm never going to fight you again. Shit like that. Do you see what I'm saying? We have a lot of that. The Floyd Mayweather and the Manny Pacquiao. Blood doping and all that stuff. There's a lot of reasons why people don't fight in their prime. This is a fight of two of the best fighters in their division in their prime. It is so good. So good. I think Teofimo Lopez, I'm going off the top of my head, I think he has 1 loss, and Shakur is undefeated.
Is it on Prime?
It's on the Zone.
I said the Zone on Prime Video earlier when I was looking at it.
It might be. So on this fight card, you got Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson. You got Keyshawn Davis versus Jermaine Ortiz. Keyshawn Davis is famous for missing weight a little bit ago when he went to his hometown, and his brother got his ass beat on his hometown fight, and then they fought in the back. So you have the super lightweight title on for the WBO title. That's the 140 for Teofimo and Shakur. Then you have another super lightweight title for Keyshawn Davison, Jermaine Ortiz. Basically, the winner of that fight will probably fight Teofimo or Shakur. Then you got a couple other people on here. Don't really care about them. They're good fighters. But here we go. So where's their record? It's only 30. Oh, that's in fucking. Dude, the pay-per-view, you could purchase both pay-per-views for $109 US, or $40 in UK, or $33 in. Why the fuck is it $109 in the US?
US or UK?
US. It's $110 in the US
For
to
what?
get both fights. In the UK, it's 40 pounds.
What do you mean by both pay-per-views?
You would get Lopez and Stevenson, and also Barrio and Garcia, which is February 21st.
Oh, got you.
Yeah. So you can buy it by itself for $70 or 25 pounds in the UK.
I don't know. $70
$20 in the rest of the world. $20 the rest of the world, but $70 for us. This shit is stupid.
Yeah, I don't know how much fucking traction that's gonna gain.
Well, no, people are gonna, because of how good of a fight it's gonna be. People are going to.
Yeah, but I don't think it's like the fucking type of fight that just pulls in like casual fans.
No. Well, this is the problem. Teo will. Teofimo will, because of the fact that Teofimo is a character. He
Yeah.
showed up to the last fight with a luchador mask on. He also showed up to a fight in New York where he came to the press conference. We had Devin Haney and Roley and all of them talking. It was fucking hilarious. If you have not seen that, watch that. It's Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Roley Romero, Teofimo Lopez, and I think Barrios. But he showed up with no shirt, and it was like 40 degrees. He is a character. So he'll bring some casual fans that are casual boxing fans that know who he is. Shakur is not, because his style is not made for casual fans. He's a defensive counterpuncher. Teofimo is so good sometimes that he will make people look stupid. Like if you watch his Lomachenko fight, it looked like Lomachenko could not hit him. But Lopez is 22-1 with his only defeat coming to Kambosos, and Stevenson is 24-0. And they are facing in the main event of the Ring 6 card. It's going to be an amazing fight. Shakur Stevenson is favored, even though Teofimo is the champion in the 140, and Shakur is coming up to fight at 140. This is Shakur's first 140 fight. He is favored against Teofimo. I think Teofimo is, I don't know.
Just because of his time off?
No. So neither one of them had a lot of time off. Teofimo just fought earlier last year. His last fight was the same fight that Roley beat Ryan Garcia. And Shakur Stevenson just fought his last fight. Yeah, he won, was in May of 2025. He beat Arnold Barbosa Jr. to get the title. So that was coming off of his layoff. Like he's had a layoff then. And then Shakur's last fight, I want to say, was 4 or 5 months ago. He fought Cepeda. And he went to war with Cepeda. July 25th. So they're about 2 months away. The problem is, this is my problem. This is why I can't pick the fight. Shakur is one of those fighters that, very similar to Floyd, that he does not get hit. He is very defensive. He fights off the back foot. He is one of the best defensive boxers in boxing as of right now. He is a great counterpuncher. He has a very, very stiff jab. And I think he's southpaw. I'm pretty sure he's southpaw. Yeah, he's southpaw. So he's got elite ring IQ. And the problem with the southpaw, the reason why I bring that up is because he has a high guard, right? So he likes to come here. Teofimo, he fights orthodox. So southpaw, Shakur has his hand up like this. Teofimo's fighting orthodox and leaves this hand down. He likes to fight with this hand down, his right hand. So the right hand being down sets it up perfectly for the jab for the southpaw. A perfect example of the southpaw jab is his jab is Crawford versus Spence. The way he was set up, the way Spence's style is, Crawford was fighting southpaw. That jab is closer to that hand being down. So when you're fighting a southpaw and you're orthodox, you got to keep that right hand up. So that way you can If that hand comes down and they got a quick jab, you're getting stuck consistently. And that's the problem with Shakur. Shakur's jab.
So wouldn't the left hand fucking be in the way of the right hand? Wouldn't it be more left hand that would leave more like a left hook that would he be more fucking prone to?
Yeah, the left hook, yeah. Yeah, the left hook could work too. The left hand could work too, but that's also off the feints. Let me see. Hold on. Let me think. Hold on. So right hand right here. And then you're right, it is the left hand. He fights with the left hand down. You're right. So opposite way.
Oh, you're saying he's fighting with the left hand down.
Yeah, so it's basically the way he fights, it sets up for Shakur's jab. And there was a great breakdown that Deontay Wilder's old trainer did. He's a boxer too, I forgot his name. But he broke it down consistently. And he's like, Teofimo likes to sit with this hand down. Yeah, it's his right, which sets it up perfectly for that jab. There's nothing you can do. It just sets it up perfectly for that jab because of the way the southpaws like to box. Let me see if I can show an image of it.
I don't know if fucking Malika Andrews did broadcast for tennis.
I hate Malika Andrews.
I know, that's why I mentioned it.
I can't stand Malika Andrews. Okay, so he's throwing a punch there. Do they have any of them? Because the dude, it was his last fight, and he put it up perfectly. That hand stays completely down where he gets comfortable. But Teofimo also has great speed and great speed and great awareness. Yeah, it's his left hand that would be down. Yeah, it's his left hand that would be down, not his right hand. So he has great speed and great awareness and great footwork. So if I was to pick a fighter, I would just say this is going to go the distance. There's not going to be a knockout. This is going to end up going the difference. There may be a knockdown here or there. And I'm going to bitch out and not pick a winner. If I had to pick a winner, I'd pick Shakur. Gun to my head and I had to bet on it, I'd bet Shakur, but I'm rooting for Teofimo. Also, Teofimo's dad is hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
His dad is his trainer. And Shakur is making stuff up. Like, they started talking. Shakur's like, oh, he was talking shit about my mother. Teofimo's like, I don't talk about moms. He never talks about moms. But they were talking shit about Teofimo's father being drugged out or drunk and passed out. That's why he didn't make it to the press conference, because he was hungover. And they had video of him being passed the fuck out in the lobby. And Teofimo's like, he's 57 years old. Let him do what he wants to do. So yeah, it was a good press conference. Teofimo kept having jokes. This is the problem. Teofimo, you don't know whether he's serious or not, and people take his joking as being serious, as like he's not serious for the fight. he kept having dick jokes with his dick in his mouth to Shakur Stevenson. He'd be like, "Yeah, my long." Shakur's like, "What?" He's like, "My long dick in your mouth." And Shakur would just be like, "What the fuck? What the fuck? Ah, you fruity ass." And he just kept talking shit. I think they're going to go to war. But when I say that, I don't want people to think the war is going to be like old war boxing from the 80s and 90s. They're going to throw some punches. They're going to hit each other hard. I just think it's going to be one of those tactical fights. Coaching hires. Who's your favorite coaching hire so far?
I don't know if I have a favorite, but I guess it's interesting that Harbaugh chose the Giants. I don't think it's going to be as fruitful as they're thinking it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I guess McDaniel's OC for Chargers is interesting as well.
That scares the mess out of me. That one scares me so bad for two reasons. One,
in your division now.
I don't even. First of all, yes, okay. We got Harbaugh and McDaniel's teamed up together, right? So that scares me for yes, he's in my division. One, the biggest reason why it scares me is because he turned down head coaching jobs. He didn't turn down. He wasn't offered jobs, but he was supposed to interview for the Bills job, and he said, "No, I'm good." Like, he literally said, "No, I'm good."
Well, he saw the fucking press conference from the owner and was like,
I don't even care. You had a chance to interview to coach Josh Allen, which you know because you played him twice a year, one of the best quarterbacks, and you said, "No, I'm good. I want to go coach Justin Herbert." That means he's got a plan.
Well, I think somebody mentioned that's like he didn't want to just jump into another fucking head coaching job if it wasn't the right fucking scenario or situation, the right fit. Because if you get fired, that's a wrap. You ain't getting a third chance as a head coach.
He went from coaching Tua and got not saying he would get the coach, but he could interview. He didn't even want to interview. And I understand a lot of offensive coordinators, after being a head coach, they want to go back to being an offensive coordinator because they're like, hey, that was just so much responsibility. I need a break from that shit. Let me go back. Like Josh McDaniels has done it. A lot of people have done it. You see what I'm saying? Let me go back to being an offensive coordinator for a couple years. And then if I find the right position, maybe he wants to do like Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson was perfect. Wait, pick your position and get the right position. I just don't understand how you say no to Josh Allen.
I guess it's more saying no to the owner and everything else.
I guess. I mean, he could know more about that franchise than we do because he plays them twice a year.
Yeah.
But up until that stupid ass press conference from the owner.
Yeah, other than that, I think it would have been a fucking coveted job.
Look, I watched that whole. We'll get into that press conference in a second. Hold on. So, who's your least favorite hire?
That's a good question. I don't know if I can think of all of them at this time.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it up.
Least favorite,
but they're being stupid. There we go. Okay, so we have, of course, we have Kevin Stefanski for the Falcons. We have Jesse Minter for the Ravens. I don't know even who. Joe Brady
for DC for the Chargers. I would say maybe that one. It seems kind of underwhelming.
Joe Brady for the Bills. Todd Monken for the Browns.
I'll say either Monken for the Browns or Minter for the Ravens.
Jeff Haley for the Ravens. For the Dolphins. Jeff Haley. Who?
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, who the fuck is that?
John Harbaugh, we got. Yep. Mike McCarthy for the Steelers. And then Robert Saleh for the Titans.
I'd say either Minter or Monk, I would say.
Yeah.
I don't know how much that moves the needle, in my opinion.
I think that Jesse Minter, defensive coordinator. That one was a little shocking to me due to the fact that you have Lamar Jackson. And the problem has been, yes, your defense has not been good, but you need to get more. Your offense has been fucking causing you guys games. Yeah. Fumbles, turnovers. So I just don't. That one was a little weird. And then you said the Todd Monken for the Browns.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see how he made an impression that he's gonna do great as a head coach if his OC work has been suspect.
Nobody wanted that job. Nobody wanted that job. So that one is surprising only because of the fact that and nobody wanted that job. Like, he's 60-something years old. He said, yeah, I'll take it because this is my only chance to ever be a head coach.
Yeah. Check the
so
box.
That one. We were talking about Teofimo Lopez. So that was a little weird, right? Because I respect it, but it's probably not going to work out. But if I'm thinking of the Browns, I'm kind of looking at like maybe working with Lamar helps him with Shakur. Maybe. So yeah, I could tell you my favorite isn't even a head coach. It's a offensive coordinator. Eric Bieniemy is back. Motherfucker, Eric Bieniemy is back. EB is back. Fuck Matt Nagy. I am so ecstatic. I don't want to hear this bullshit people talking about. Oh, Andy Reid's doing what he always does. He's recycling the people that he knows because y'all got to look at who we got for our... Dude, I learned so much about coaching positions this offseason. I've learned so much. I didn't even know this shit. I didn't know that they had a passing coordinator. Did you know that?
Yeah.
I didn't know they had a receiver. I knew they had a wide receiver coach. I knew they had a quarterback's coach. But I didn't know they had a passing and wide receiver coordinator.
I think they're kind of making some of those like specialty positions or fucking associate head coach, assistant.
Well, so basically, when I looked it up, because the Chiefs have hired a lot of people. So when I looked that stuff up, I was like, oh, this, and I was like, what the fuck is this shit? I was like, why are we getting excited about some of these people? They hired some people from college ranks, but I'm like, why are we getting excited? What the fuck is a passing coordinator? A defensive quality control coach. Have you ever heard of that shit?
I think once or twice.
So their job is basically to make sure everybody's in the right position. So you got the DB coaches that work with the positional groups, right? Hey, you need to be here, you need to be here, you need to turn your body like this, all the position coaches. But then they got the quality control and offensive quality control, which basically is like an assistant to the offensive coordinator that, hey, you call the plays, but we got to make sure all these people know where they're supposed to be at. I was like, I don't even know. Why do y'all have, y'all have 63 fucking coaches, it seems like. And teams still suck. How is that possible? So yeah, that's my favorite head coaching hire. Coaching hire. As far as head coaching, it's Kevin Stefanski. That is my all-time favorite hire. First of all, I think it is a great hire for the Falcons. I think Kevin Stefanski did not want to coach Cleveland last year. Yes, I see all the drama that they had with Shakur, which probably brought him down. But we got to remember, he's one of the only coaches to succeed ever in Cleveland. That accounts for something. He's got a two-time head coach, led them to the playoffs 2 or 3 times. So, I mean, I thought that was he seems like the perfect head coach. You don't have a quarterback. Okay. You've done this multiple times. But you have a young talent that you can develop. I think that's a perfect head coach. And then the Baker drama. That just threw more flames to the fire. I love when players are beefing with coaches, ex-coaches. I love when LaShawn McCoy was talking shit about Andy Reid. I love Baker. I can't wait for these games to happen because there's already a rivalry there, but now it's just going to be bigger, in my opinion. So I really, really love that. What do you think of the Falcons hire of Kevin Stefanski?
Yeah, I was kind of trying to wrap my head around it at first. I know he's got 2 Coaching of the Year awards. I think it'll help them. I don't know if it'll put them over the top, but they'll probably be above average, I'd say.
Yeah. But in that division, you just have to be above average.
That's true.
It's the NFC South. So, I mean, if he could think about it, he's in a division where 9 wins get you in the playoff, maybe 10. So yeah, I think that's the only thing I think is good about that. He's in the NFC South. It's away from the other one. Okay. My least favorite hire is Jeff Hafley for the Dolphins. That is my least favorite hire. I understand what people do. They go from, we had an offensive head coach, so we're going to go defense. We had a players coach, so we're going to go strict. It always seems like a lot of times they go opposite.
Direction.
When their team, it sucks. But did y'all see what happened to the Packers in the playoffs? Did anybody see what happened to the Packers defense after, they lost Micah Parsons? Like, Jordan Love threw 4 touchdowns in the playoffs and still lost that game, and they had like a 21-point lead. He had all that talent on defense. What the fuck do you think he's going to do with the Dolphins? The Dolphins are going to be picking another head coach in 2 to 3 years. In 2 to 3 years. I give them I think this is a bad hire. I didn't know who he was, but then once I found out, the Packers defense played extremely well, but it's just one of those things where the last time I saw them, they were giving up a huge lead in the playoff. I don't know how you're in a tougher division besides the Jets, so I just don't know. That's my least favorite. What was the biggest shock to you as a head coaching hire?
That's probably one of them, I would say.
Okay. What was the biggest shock to you as a firing?
At the firing, the Harbaugh one.
Okay.
I thought it would have been more of a we mutually decided to go our separate ways.
That one did not surprise me that bad because of ESPN. That's literally Stephen A. Smith. All of them were talking about it, and then the ESPN reporter that was in the press conference after they lost to the Steelers asked both questions to Lamar and Harbaugh. Do you want to coach this team next year? Do you want Harbaugh as a coach next year? Two totally different answers. Right then, we talked about it on the podcast. I was like, I don't think he's going to be the coach. Right then, I was like, nope, he's getting fired. So that one, the Bills surprised me. That surprised me. The reason why that surprised me the most was because when they fired him. So I know they fired him after they lost, so you're not going to fire him before you lose. I know that. But the two biggest names were already taken. Do you see what I'm saying? And Stefanski and Harbaugh. So you fired him with like 9 other head coaching positions available. And everybody thought Dayball was going to be the guy. But unless you knew it was going to be Dayball in that situation, it was just one of those things where it's like, I think this was a knee-jerk reaction to you guys losing another game because of the receiving core or Josh Allen's turnovers or whatever you want to think about it. And Joe Brady's the next head coach. That's great. I think he would do very, very good with that team. He's a pretty good offensive coordinator. If I'm not mistaken, Joe Brady has been a head coach before, right? Did he not coach the Giants?
I think so, for like a season or two.
Yeah, I'm pretty positive.
Because he went from Patriots special teams coach to Giants and then to the Bills.
No. So he's never. So based off of AI,
I mean, he interviewed, I think.
Yeah, he might have just interviewed, or it might have been an interim head coaching position.
Maybe it was interim.
Yeah. No, because he's actually never coached for the Giants in the NFL.
Was he interim for the Patriots?
Nope. Carolina. I think that's Joe Douglas. Or what's the other Giants? Joe Judge. That's who that was.
Oh, okay.
Joe Judge. Yep.
Joe Brady.
Yeah. So Joe Brady gets his first head coaching position. That's good. I don't think that is, and that's another reason why I think that that to me was the most surprising, because you, after your press conference, owners should just shut the fuck up and let all owners, unless you're commending your team and you're coming out and saying we played great, y'all should just shut the fuck up. Because that press conference was so horrible. You threw people under the bus and all of that stuff. Keon Coleman should ask for a trade right now. Right now. But I don't know if you Super Bowl or bust. We know this. So you give a first-time head coach in a very tough division. I'm not sure about that. I don't think they had a plan. By the way, general manager for the Vikings got fired yesterday.
I think one of the ones that was surprising as well was McDaniel when they didn't fire him on Black Monday, and then realized, I think they heard the backlash, and then, oh yeah, actually we do want to fire you.
I think what happened was I'm gonna come up with my conspiracy theory. We're gonna put our conspiracy theory hat on. I think McDaniel didn't get fired and then went into the fucking office vaping and was like, "Yo, this team fucking sucks. Fuck, I don't want to coach here no more. Please fucking fire me." He went in there and said some shit because they came back and fired him. He's like, "Are y'all fucking dumb?
How dare you to fire me?"
It's obvious he didn't want to be a head coach. So I think he went in there and was like, "Look, you dumbass fucking blah, 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 blah." So yeah, the head coaching searching is almost over. I think that there's a lot of teams that are going to regret what they did. And I think we're going to have a fun football season because of this. By the way, I don't get this hire either. The Steelers hire of Mike McCarthy. They went from Mike Tomlin to Mike McCarthy. I don't get that hire.
I think just because he's from Pittsburgh, I figured.
It is, and it's a bridge till they. I think what happened was I don't think they were expecting Tomlin to resign.
Or
And then
maybe
they
they're thinking we can run it back with fucking Rodgers one more year, and there's that
maybe,
familiarity. And
but this is probably a bridge coach. You don't hear that often, but this is probably a bridge coach.
which is surprising to hear for the Steelers.
Well, that is because funny thing is they've only had 4 coaches, right? But somebody pointed it out
3
very
coaches?
well. No, they've had 3 coaches since fucking 1960. They had 4 total.
Who was before Noel?
Oh, so no, they have 3 now, 4 now. Sorry, so it was Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin, and Mike McCarthy. Yeah, they had their 4th coach. Okay, so they've had 3 coaches, but all of them won early. So Chuck Noll coached from 69 to 91, and his last Super Bowls were in the 70s. So they won extremely early. Like their first Super Bowl was like 2 to 3 years after he started being a head coach. '75. So 6 years after he started being a head coach. Then they won in 79 and 76, 76, 75, 79, and 80. And he coached till 91. Then you have Bill Cowher, who went to the Super Bowl really, really early. He lost to your Cowboys in the Cordell Stewart game. Remember that? We were like in junior high or high school. So he didn't win until 2006, but he had immediate success of going to the Super Bowl. So that's the first time they had been to the Super Bowl since 1980. And then Tomlin wins within a couple years of becoming a head coach. Tomlin won 2 years after. 2 years after becoming a head coach. So is it that they don't fire coaches, or they just understand it's hard to win a Super Bowl, and if you have success early, they're going to let you continue?
Well, I don't think that's going to be the case with McCarthy.
No, of course not. McCarthy's got like 4 or 5 years. That's why he's a bridge coach. I think they're going to build the team up, start to do draft picks and everything like that. It's a hire. Oh, we love you. You're a Philadelphia guy. And then when in a couple years, when he decides to retire or whatever, in 5 to 7 years, they'll come up with another coach.
Well, I think they need to draft a quarterback though for him to help develop, since he's known to be the one to fucking develop quarterbacks.
I don't understand how. I don't get how a lot of these coaches get labels that just don't make sense. Who the fuck did he develop?
I guess Aaron Rodgers is who they fucking consider.
He did not develop Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers was supposed to be the number 1 overall pick in his draft and ended up sliding. He did not develop. He set Aaron Rodgers on the bench for 4 years.
That I would say some people would say that would be considered part of his development.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. Did he develop Dak Prescott?
I think that's a different point in his career, but I believe that there was enhancements made and got him to, I guess, take his play to another level.
What level was that?
I mean, it's not fucking the fucking stratosphere, but it's just being more consistent.
You're the Cowboys fan, so you would know more about that than me.
I mean, I don't think he was the worst coach, but he wasn't the best coach, but I don't think he was the worst coach either.
Yeah, I just think I just think he's one of those guys that we're gonna see. Like, don't get me wrong. Do I believe Andy Reid is a great quarterback developer? No, I don't. But I do believe he is amazing at matching an offensive strategy or scheme to his quarterback's play sets. Now, Do I think Mahomes would be as good as he was without Andy Reid? They probably wouldn't be as successful. But Mahomes is going to be good no matter fucking what. He had Donovan McNabb. Like, I'm not saying Mahomes is just that's kind of what I think with Mike McCarthy with a lot of these coaches. They get the rap because they get great quarterbacks or very good quarterbacks, above average quarterbacks, and then people think they develop them. And then when you have a piece of shit quarterback like fucking Tua, then you get the rap for not being able to develop a quarterback. I think they just kind of get lucky. You see what I'm saying? Like, did Sean McDermott? Now, Sean McDermott might have helped develop fucking Josh Allen because Josh Allen, he had trouble with accuracy the first couple years. But I think that's more of your passing coaches and your quarterback coaches than it is the actual head coach. Do you kind of get what I mean?
Yeah, that's where it gets a little muddled, I guess.
Or the offensive consistency coach. I just don't know how much time the head coach actually has to spend with the quarterback during practice to develop them. But if you're a play caller, you can find their strengths and weaknesses and scheme around that. Like Liam Cohen, he's a very good coach. But in 6 years, are we going to give him credit for developing Trevor Lawrence? Because he looked like shit with his other head coaches?
I think you'll get credit for making it fucking click at least.
The problem that I see that, but that dude is the best prospect ever to come out of college. Like he lost more games in the NFL than he's ever lost in his history of his career. So like, or did he just scheme better for him? That's become, I think, my issue more.
Yeah, but everybody's like talented once they get to this level. It's just the coaching is what helps fucking get you to another fucking tier.
I don't know. There's some people that just you can't help. Nathan Peterman, Jared Stidham, Tua Tagovailoa. You just can't help some of these people. But then some, just like they have the new guy who just got hired for the Eagles, offensive coordinator, who was a quarterback coach for Green Bay, and they're giving him, and they're like, hey, the reason why even though he's never called plays, is because he helped develop Malik Willis, who was the Titans quarterback that got drafted, that sucked, that he played a couple games this year because of Jordan Love. So that it's kind of weird. Like who are we? I see that more as the quarterback's coach being able to develop somebody in the coach. That's, I digress. No point in going on. It's just weird. I have weird thoughts. All right. Last thing we're going to get into is Throwback Show. Pros versus Joes. How many people have seen this? Please let us know in the comments if you've seen this show. Thank you. This show, for some odd reason, got into the show in the last couple of days, and I've had.
Where do you even watch that shit? Just online?
Yeah, you can watch it online. You can watch it on YouTube. You can get it on what was it on?
Paramount.
Amazon Prime. It's on Prime, but you got to pay for it.
Pay? What the fuck? What would you pay for that?
You got to pay for like the whole season. It's not. It's like $12. You can watch.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that shit for free.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I didn't pay them. You can watch it on Apple TV.
I think Pros vs. Joes is like American Gladiators, like something I definitely would have loved to have been on.
Oh, I would have. Now, this is the issue. I think I would have done better on American Gladiators than Pros vs. Joes.
Yeah, that's true. Especially the fucking one where they shoot the tennis balls.
Yeah, I think I would have done, especially that ending option. Oh, I'd be good. I'd have been juking some. Oh, but Pros versus Joes, I rewatched a lot of these, and boy, do you gotta love the early 2000s. Like, there's so many things. First of all, do we think that this show would happen now?
Nah, there'd have been some fucking lawsuits or some shit nowadays.
Okay, so all of that stuff, and if we did, they would have to water it down consistently. Due to the fact that we're not built the way we used to be built. You're not going to get a boxer, people to go into the ring with the Turagati. Well, you might, because we have these stupid ass influencers. So you 100% might have that happen. Like Sean Strickland and Sneeko.
Who's Sneeko?
Yeah, Sean Strickland when he beat the shit out of Sneeko.
Who are you saying he beat the shit out of?
Sneeko, the damn influencer.
I
You have
think
not
I
seen,
know. I heard of
you have
I've
not
heard of
seen
it,
that
but I
fight.
don't know who it was that he beat up. It's
So
somebody that called him out, right? And he said, "All right, let's do it."
No. They went in. Sneeko now actually, a lot of these influencers now actually started fighting, right? But Sneeko was a red pill influencer, kind of like Andrew Tate. He started off as and then he started getting in with the MMA community, and he went into the octagon with Sean Strickland, and they were just supposed to be and Sean Strickland beat the shit out of him. Like they had, like Forrest Griffin them had to throw in a towel. And Sean Strickland talked about it. I got even madder because he wouldn't go down. Like he was like, I was gonna make him, but he would not drop. And he beat the living shit out of him. It's not even like it is probably one of the worst things I've ever seen. He Sneeko didn't tap. Sneeko was concussed about 7 times. So you can literally pull that up, look that up, and it's because I know we'll get copyrighted, but it's fucking crazy how hard he hit him. So you may have some of these influencers now that could do it. If you did a pros versus Joes against influencers, that may work. Like I Show Speed getting in Royal Rumble and getting his head taken off. Or fighting, he's on a tour right now in Ghana, in Africa, and he fought one of the #1 boxers.
Who?
I Show Speed.
Oh, what did he fucking featherweight or what?
I Show Speed weighs like 145. And then he also got in the ring with Dan Hooker.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. So it might work if you
Dan
can
Hooker,
get
the MMA fighter. They did boxing.
Yeah, because he went to his gym and he's like, I want to box. Dan Hooker gave him a body shot and he was done. Yeah. So it might work, but if you had average Joes versus pros, I think if you pick the right people, this would be a great show. And I don't even think you got to get influencers. I think you got to get average guys like us. I think you have 2 tiers. I think you should have 3 tiers. I think it should be pros. All of them should be retired. No Justin Gatlins. Nobody in their fucking prime. I don't want to go against LeBron James or some guy that's playing in the NBA right now on the bench. No, fuck that. Give me 50-year-old guy so I have some sort of chance, right? They don't have to be so retired. You know what I'm saying? They could be 4 or 5. We'll do within the Hall of Fame before they get in the Hall of Fame, right? Within 5 years. But you have a couple tiers. You have normal Joes like me and you that we at some point in time played sports, but our body would have never held up to professional sports. We're just not big enough. And you have Joes like us that go up and try our best. And there may be some dudes that are actually really good that figure out ways to do it. And then you have like your influencers. And then I would say you have like your college players or players that weren't in maybe they could have been drafted but didn't make it to the league, like AA pitchers or stuff like that. And I would say you could compete about those. You could have tournaments going against each other, and then they go up against pros. And if we put pros that are in their prime, then we just have a tournament where all the Joes go against each other, trying to beat them. Whoever wins their thing, then you have one Joe, one influencer, one college player or minor league player go against pros in their prime. That wouldn't even be fun. Don Fry would not be fun. But could you like imagine like you get Ryan Garcia as one of your pros because he would do that. He's a fucking influencer. You get Juju Smith-Schuster. Give me a basketball player right now. Who can we get that you think would do this?
Oh, fucking Malik Beasley.
Malik Beasley, yeah, okay. So we get those 3. And then we need
Dwight Howard.
Yeah, we could get Dwight. Dwight would, yeah. Do you know what? We'll take Dwight over Malik. I like that better. And then we need like a soccer or volleyball player or one of those other sports or baseball. So like who could we get right now in baseball that you think would do this?
Like a pitcher?
A pitcher.
Fucking probably Trevor Bauer, since he couldn't get back
There we
to
go,
the
Trevor
league.
Bauer. Okay, so we got those four. We got Ryan Garcia, Trevor Bauer, Dwight Howard. Who else did I fucking miss? The football. Juju Smith-Schuster. And they watching. The pros go, and then you play in their game. They could remake this show so good with so much trash talk. So much trash talk. Having to dodge an expiring DLJ. Yeah, that could be cool. Have flameouts, Jamarcus Russell. So I think we could definitely bring this show back. I think if we bring this show back, they would have to put it on like and I don't understand why we don't have it. We have Prime, we have fucking all these other dumbass shit. Put it on a streaming platform. Tubi, help us out. You got 80 million bake-off shows. You're in season 24 of American Idol, where they don't even try no more. They just make up stories.
They ain't even idols no more.
Huh? It's not. Like,
it's more like IDLE instead of IDOL.
It's so fucking horrible. I was watching it with my mom because I went to visit my mom, and when I was watching it, I was like, "Oh, this is horrible. This is a complete fucking story."
And I'm like, sing better than these fools.
I'm like, she's getting in. She's like, "How do you know?" I'm like, "Because of the story." She's like, "I'm like, she can't even fucking sing. What are you talking about?" Like, there was this guy that sang this song, and they're like, "We don't. Your voice is so unique. We don't think it would go through." Bitch, give him another song. But then there was another kid that they're like, "Oh, you're so amazing, and I love your story." And I was like, "Oh, this shit sucks." Russell Westbrook. Oh my God. Russell Westbrook would do this shit. Could you imagine having to go against Russell Westbrook in this game, in the show? I just saw Russell wouldn't even watch. I know you're talking about Jamal Russell, but could you imagine? Like, you would be able to get some of these players because there's so many of these people that talk shit online. Kevin Durant would do this shit.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this show could be absolutely amazing. Of course, now we're going to talk about the fee and the pay. Look, you're coming in for a couple episodes, okay? Kevin Durant, we're going to do it in the offseason. We'll donate to your charity, and you'll get to bust some fucking fools. And he's a baller, of course. So I think this show could be 100% Tony Stewart versus Joe on the track. Dude, could you imagine them race car driving? I'm assuming he's talking about Tony Stewart, the race car driver.
But you put Tony Stewart in a Kia, and then you get a Lambo.
And it would be right now with all of this stuff. You could start have a YouTube series of this. Like, there's so many shows that I wish they would bring back that are sports related. Because a lot of the shows we get fucking suck. The Contender. I love that show. And I know they tried to bring it back. I know they 100% tried to bring it back. The Contender was a show with Stallone and Sugar Ray Leonard. And they did a reality show. Kind of like The Ultimate Fighter.
Well, Sergio Mora had a little career after that.
So did Peter Manfredo. So did Alfonso Gomez.
Oh, yeah, I forgot Manfredo was on there.
One of the dudes, I met one of the dudes on the show, Joey, and it was so weird because I was watching it. He's a lawyer in Reno. So, like, you come in the Reno airport, and this motherfucker is on the show, on the thing, showing his like, he's fighting, and I fight for you. And one day I'm on Southwest going back from Reno. It's a Friday night, and he literally walks by me. I'm like, "Oh, shit, what's up, Joey?" And he's like, "Hey, man, how you doing?" And shakes my hand. He's like, "Where do I know you from?" I'm like, "Dude, you don't personally know me. I used to watch The Contender all the time, and I loved you." He's like, "Oh, we get on the plane. He sits 2 seats ahead of me. And we're sitting up there. He's like, "Yeah," he's telling his friend, "This dude remember me from The Contender." He's like, "You really did?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I used to love that show." And we talk for a couple minutes. We get off the plane. We talk. But, like, that show was so cool. Could you imagine having that with a young Ryan Garcia? Even if you don't do it the same way. Yeah, there's all these 4th and 1. Do you remember 4th and 1?
I think
the
so.
Cowboy show with Michael Irvin?
I thought it was called something else.
4th and Long.
4th
and Long. Yeah, 4th and Long. That show would be
4th and 1 is the Twitch push show.
That show would be lovely right now to bring back a team where you take players that were in college that did not, got out or whatever, and you give them a shot on the team.
Yeah,
And
because fucking Hawkins fucking made the NFL after that.
Yeah.
Well,
And you
Jesse
do
Holley
it.
was the one who won, but I think Hawkins had more of a career being
Yeah,
the
but
second place.
the dude that won actually made a touchdown catch in the Cowboys game.
Yeah, he did against the Niners in overtime.
Yeah, so you could have that started. There's so much content. Like the NFL is about to end right now. Start it now. Do the show during the season. Film it during the season, right? Release it after the season, and that player ends up on the training camp roster. And now you have a show to follow his journey. And there's so many shows. Netflix, please help me out. I love the quarterback series. I love all that's helped me the fuck out. Okay. There's so many old American Gladiators. Bring that shit back. We need that. I don't even care if we call it American Gladiators. Call it fucking Gladiators. And instead of having, and again, normal people versus gladiators. There's so much talent out here in the United States that people don't know about. I think we should do it. I think some shows should be able to do it. I don't know why, but I think they should. So, any thoughts on the throwback to the pros versus the Joes?
No, I think there's potential for sure, especially with all the fucking shows we see nowadays.
All the influencers, all the boxing. There's so much potential for some of these shows. And you don't have to spend a lot of money to do it.
And some of them could just be like fucking, fucking like 3-point contest or something where you can just showcase certain skills and not have to be outmatched with physicality.
Yeah. You could do the skills challenge, 3-point contest. There's so many of these shows. There's so many where you don't have to bump into them. Football, yeah, of course. And then in the finals, you got to hit them. Like you could set it up with skills and all this. There'd be so much fun. So much. There's so much creativity that we have nowadays in sports with all of the behind the scenes that we could see. I mean, they just iSpeed just had a show him going to wrestling in a WWE match, learning how to wrestle, and actually all on YouTube.
That feels more athletic than I give him credit for.
Dude, he is. I'm telling you right now. What is his ethnicity? I know he's black, but where the fuck is he from? Where's his family from? That dude is from he is from Africa. His whole family.
That's what I thought, but I wasn't 100% because I know he likes soccer, and I know that's not usually the favorite sport.
I know he's an American. I know he's born an American. He was born in Cincinnati, Ohio. His name is Darren Jason Watkins. Who's his family?
Mr. and Mrs. Watkins.
Because just by his build and how fucking athletic he is, like I'm saying Nigerian.
Well, I seen him hit a fucking standing backflip when he was playing the flag football game against Tyson Nat.
He had a standing backflip in the WWE ring and then got destroyed by Braun Breaker in a spear. Like they're in the middle of the Royal Rumble. He comes up, runs off the rope, hits a backflip, does Ronaldo's thing, and then gets speared. Like it went viral. It was one of the cleanest things I had ever seen. And he took that spear so his mother is Ghanaian. Yep, his family's from Ghana. On his mother's side, she's Ghana. That's why he's visiting. He's got Ghana citizenship. So his father he's 80% African. Yeah, I knew that dude was from Ghana, Nigeria. You can look at his body and be like, dude, no, you are built like fucking Kamara Usman in them. Take a trucker.
Oh, speaking of WWE, what the fuck is a tribal thief?
First of all, listen, you better acknowledge him, okay? You better motherfucking acknowledge him, okay? I'm just letting you know.
I don't even know who the fuck he is.
So this is to give you a brief explanation, and anybody that watches wrestling, they may jump down my throat because I'm going to summarize it very, very quickly, okay? Roman Reigns is related to The Rock.
Right, I know that.
Okay. Remember when we were younger and the Rocky sucked chants and die Rocky die?
Uh-huh.
And remember what they did with him and put him in the Nation of Domination?
Yeah.
That is very similar to what happened with Roman Reigns. except for they pushed Roman Reigns down our throat longer than they did The Rock. They did it for years. They had him saying lines like sucker and succotash. And yeah, he was one of the badasses that came out with the Shield. They tried to turn him into the next John Cena and push us down their throat. And then they basically did a Nation of Domination with him. They let him leave, and then he came back and started doing his Samoan roots, like, and all that other stuff, and said he was the tribal chief, the head of his Samoan family. And the reason why he was the head of the Samoan family was because he had to provide food and money for everybody else. So he became their tribal chief based off his Samoan family. And it ran for 3 to 4 years and was the hottest storyline in WWE ever. Like, it goes against the tribal chief and the OTC and the bloodline, that whole saga. You could take that saga and put that against any top saga we had when we were growing up. NWO. It rivals that. It was that good. Basically, he went around and got the Usos, made them join him, bring Paul Heyman up, bring Solo, we actually saw. Remember when we went to that indie wrestling?
Mm-hmm.
Solo used to wrestle there. Bring him up, bring his whole family, and they ran the WWE for like 2 years. He had both of the championships. The Usos had both of the tag team championships. They were beating everybody. They bring along a dude named Sami Zayn. One of the loudest pops in the history of the WWE is when Sami Zayn hit Roman Reigns, with the chair. Like, there's a video WWE releases, like an hour video. If you just want get high one day, it shows the whole Bloodline saga. It is fucking amazing. But he's the tribal chief. That's what he became. That's how he became the tribal chief. But now the bloodline's kind of dispersed, and he went from being a bad guy to being hated, to everybody booing him, to being literally the most chanted superstar. That's why the easiest way for me to describe it was The Rock. Because it's basically what happened after The Rock went to the Nation of Domination and then took off. Very good storyline, though. Yeah, that is an amazing. A lot of WWE sucks right now.
Speaking of Nation of Domination, I ran into Mustafa one time at Home Depot.
Fuck that. We got to call him by his real name, okay?
The Godfather?
We're not using none of that bullshit, okay? No Kama, no Mustafa, no Papa
I couldn't remember his fucking name.
We're going by the Godfather, okay? Because pimping ain't easy. Fuck that.
He wasn't pimping at that point.
I don't give a fuck. He's still pimping. Pimping and pimping and pimping. I don't even care. Dude, they gave him some horrible ass fucking gimmicks. Kama, the fighting machine. So yeah, that shit was fucking insane. So yeah, speaking of Nation of Domination, since we thought, I just watched Mark Henry talk about remember when D-Generation X did blackface, where they came out as the Nation of Domination. So I saw him talking about it. He was like, "Yeah, that didn't even bother me. It really bothered The Rock." But it didn't bother me because I just thought it was part of the work, and I knew those people. And he comes back, and X-Pac is getting all this shit, and X-Pac's like, I don't even know what a minstrel show is. What are they talking about periods for? So Mark Henry had to explain what blackface was to X-Pac. But like, I remember when that show happened, right? I vaguely remember it. I do not remember it as like an adult. I remember it as a kid, right? Being in high school or whatever. And I thought it was fucking hilarious as shit. Like, I wasn't on the internet at that point in time, so I didn't get the whole backlash. Yeah, because it was no different from when they came out and acted like Arn Anderson and Kevin Nash and all. Like, when Kevin Nash and them acted like Arn Anderson and all of them.
Not your dog spot, not a liver spot.
Yeah, do you see what I'm? So it was no different than them making fun of Ted Turner. And Jim, so in my mind, as like a kid, I was like, I just thought of everything else. Now, when I watched it back, I was an adult. I was like, oh, that's pretty bad. Oh, that was Mark Henry. Ooh, God, a gorilla. Ooh. But at the time, I don't remember us being up in arms about it. So yeah, I know the world.
Different time.
It was, but now you go back and look back at articles because we didn't have access to the internet like they do now. But you go back and look at articles, people were fucking pissed about that shit, which makes sense. I remember Roddy Piper fighting Bad News Brown. And I remember Roddy Piper painting half of his body black with shoe polish and the other half white. And he was saying he was blacker than Bad News Brown. I didn't think as like an 8-year-old there was nothing wrong with that. But now as an adult, I'm like, oh, that's pretty bad. It's just weird how shit is so different now. And that made me think about it. I was just like, I'm not saying it wasn't bad. I understand how bad it was. I know it's going to come off bad, but it just at the time, I did not take it that way. I did not take it that way. Mark Henry's response was the reason why most people didn't take it that way was because they didn't teach people about that. Like I knew very little about that. My parents kind of kept me sheltered from a lot of that. My mom grew up very in a very racist time. So my mom went through segregation, which I didn't find out until I was an adult. So my mom purposely kept that part away from us as a kid. And my dad is my dad. So he didn't go through that as much. But yeah, so I did not realize a lot of that until I became an adult and started doing my own research. So, okay, I think we end on that note, unless there's something else you want to mention since you haven't been on for a while. Anything else you want to talk about?
Oh, shit, no, it's good to be back. It's hard to hear that your fucking interview didn't materialize, but hopefully you got some fucking prospects down the road or enjoying your time off at least.
I am. I'm getting a lot of gaming done and a lot of cleaning. I'm just bored now. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm fucking bored. Also, my issue is I'm being very picky. Like it's one of those things where it's like I look at it and go, how much is this? No, I'm good. Nah, I'm good. If I'm gonna take that job, then I might as well just stay on unemployment.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like my issue where it's like in my mind, I've worked so hard to get my experience and all that shit, and I don't want to start all over. I have considered shifting fields. Again, that's just becomes my issue. I don't want to start over. Like I've in my field, and which I've already started thinking about because my field has become extremely AI generated now. So yeah, that is true. That is the hardest part. So I've thought about shifting fields, but it's just one of those things where it's like, dude, I busted my ass and worked for 15, 16 years to get to the position where I could put regional manager and this amount of salary, even though I don't have a degree. So, and I can put all this stuff up there. Why the fuck do I want to take an assistant management position? So I have to work my way back up. And in my mind, once I take that assistant management position, it's like, oh, you accept it lower. So now jobs are going to offer me lower. So yeah, I don't know. I thought about shifting. I did look into truck driving. I don't want to be on the road that much, and you can't smoke weed. So that was completely out. Yeah, can't smoke weed. So
That's what you need to find is a quality assurance for the dispensaries.
Yeah, that was completely. I know you can. We talked about that, but again, I'm certain I'm not giving up my weed. I'm good. There are too many jobs, and I understand why. I get everything. I would not be driving a truck high. But if I'm driving a truck 16 hours and I got to pull over at a truck stop and I'm going to sleep in the back of my truck, I need to be able to get fucking high. Oh, well then, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, see? I've never worried about that. I've never failed a drug test. I just didn't know how that shit worked. Because every truck driver I talk to, and we're sitting out there and nope, I don't smoke weed. I don't smoke weed. I don't smoke weed. I mean, we were literally at my son's wedding with the whole, but we were all out there smoking. There was like 6 months in rotation. They were out there, but they're like, no, we don't smoke. We drive trucks. So yeah, that so I might that I've kind of looked into. I've also looked at I'm looking into getting my series licensing. So for some of the jobs I need to get my Series 6
Like
licensing.
36
Yep.
for like financial.
Yeah. So which at the time I've never needed those, but then when I went to a relationship banker for Wells Fargo, which I'm 90% sure the reason why I didn't get it is because I didn't have my licensing. They asked me, do I have any of these licensing? And they're like, they told me Wells Fargo will give you a chance to get these licensing, but you have to they only give you like 2 opportunities. So with that job, since I did not have a licensing, I would have to go to the school, go to the class, get my licensing. If I didn't get my licensing, then they would basically fire me. Once I got my licensing, then I'd have to go through their banker school and their training. So it's not much. I've looked at it. As of the Series 6 exam is $75, while the Series 7 exam is $245. So I would need my Series 6 license and my Series 7 license. So it's not much. It's just actually getting all of the books and stuff like that and the training material for that. Because I can't just take the test.
Yeah.
So it's not how do I feel about manual labor? It's not that I feel bad about it. I just don't like doing it. So I've done tons of I've done manual. I did the manual labor jobs when I was younger. But as I got older, I've never really done it. So from in the last 15 years, I've literally worked in an office. I worked in the office with a shirt and tie on every single day. So it's one of those things. The easiest way is getting your CDL. Yeah, those are the easiest way. Oh, I got you. Okay. I don't know why I picked that up. Yeah, yeah. I got you. So I've kind of looked into some of that. It's just I've never done it. So, and at 44, with some of the problems I'm starting to have, I don't know if you're getting some of these problems, but my knees just decide they want to hurt for no reason. I don't know. Yeah, that's true. See that's where you're talking my language. I'm definitely gonna let me look into that. Unloading pallets off of trucks. Okay, got it. And I will definitely look into that. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm just my biggest thing is where I'm looking at, and also I've been gone for so long because the last year and a half I did not I wasn't home. So it's just kind of like me enjoying it. So yeah, we'll see. I'm sure I'll get something. I'm not worried. If I absolutely lucky for me, I have a wife, but also I saved really well over the last year and a half. So that was kind of the thing. When I got the job, knowing that it was a startup company, I knew there was a great chance that this may happen. I put away a lot of money. So I was good. Even without unemployment, I was good for like 5 to 6 months. So I was fine. And this is with tanker stuff feeling. Yeah, I don't know if I'm feeling gassy. Those are nice. Yeah. My biggest issue and my biggest scary thing with the truck driving is I don't like driving. I've realized that. But I'm gonna look into all of this stuff. Mo, anything else you want to talk about?
I think that's it. Can't think of anything else. But good to see y'all again.
Always good to see y'all. We'll catch y'all next week. By the way, make sure you're checking out mine and Keldrock series for the college football series that we have going on as of right now, where we each created a team. We're in the same conference, and in 2 weeks we play each other. So make sure you guys are checking that out. That's on both of our channels. Hope everybody has a fabulous weekend. Enjoy the Royal Rumble tonight. Enjoy the Teofimo Lopez, and we will see you next week. Take us out whenever you're ready, Mo.
All right, hit the showers, you filthy animals.